Enter a world where Hollywood's glitz meets fearless reinvention. Beyond the flashing cameras and glittering red carpets lie the untold stories of stars who dared to defy gender norms and rewrite societal expectations. Today, we're unveiling the incredible journeys of 10 trailblazing celebrities who broke barriers in ways you'd never expect. And just wait until you see the final name on this list. It's bound to leave you speechless. Drop a 1 in the comments and let's dive into this eye-opening ride together. Caitlyn Jenner's life before her transition was shaped by Bruce Jenner's legendary status as an Olympic gold medalist in the decathlon at the 1976 Montreal Olympics. Yet behind the image of a celebrated athlete, Caitlyn grappled with emotions she couldn't fully understand. As a child, Bruce felt an unexplainable pull toward his mother's and sister's clothing, an attraction that was both captivating and confusing. Expressing these feelings seemed impossible, especially in an era when conversations about gender identity were rare and often met with stigma. To cope with this internal conflict, Bruce threw himself into sports, using athletics as an escape from the complex emotions he couldn't fully grasp. His relentless dedication led to extraordinary success, culminating in an Olympic gold medal. Yet, even after reaching the pinnacle of his career, the inner turmoil persisted. Beyond his athletic achievements, Bruce's life was also defined by his roles as a father and husband, making the struggle to reconcile his public identity with the truth he had long kept hidden even more challenging. Despite his public success, Bruce's internal struggles persisted, contributing to the breakdown of his first 2 marriages. During his marriage to Linda Thompson, he attempted to open up about his gender identity, but Linda's inability to fully understand only deepened his sense of isolation. That loneliness grew even more pronounced when he began dating Kris Jenner. Early in their relationship, he was upfront about his past, revealing that he had been taking hormones for 4 years. However, Kris later admitted she never fully comprehended the depth of Bruce's struggles, adding another layer of complexity to their marriage. Despite the challenges, Bruce and Kris built a strong family, becoming household names through keeping up with the Kardashians. As the patriarch of the Kardashian-Jenner clan, Bruce was a beloved figure, admired for his role in the family dynamic. However, when Bruce made the life-altering decision to transition into Caitlyn, it sent shockwaves through the family, especially among her children. While the initial reaction was one of surprise and adjustment, the Kardashian-Jenner family ultimately rallied around Caitlyn with love and support. Their unwavering acceptance throughout her transition highlighted the strength of family bonds, proving that love and understanding can help navigate even the most profound life changes. At 65, Caitlyn made the bold decision to transition, an age when many might choose to settle into the life they had built. But for her, living authentically was more important than staying within the confines of familiarity. In 2015, she courageously came out to the world, gracing the cover of Vanity Fair with the now iconic headline, "Call Me Caitlyn." This moment was more than just a personal milestone. It was a cultural turning point that sparked a broader conversation about transgender rights. By sharing her journey so publicly, Caitlyn brought unprecedented visibility to the transgender community, helping to raise awareness and challenge societal perceptions in a powerful and lasting way. Caitlyn Jenner, once a celebrated sports icon, has become a powerful symbol of freedom, courage, and hope for those seeking to live authentically as their true selves. Carmen Carrera's rise to fame began on the third season of RuPaul's Drag Race, where her striking beauty and mesmerizing performances made her a standout in the drag world. But after her elimination, her journey took a profoundly personal turn. She made the life-changing decision to transition from male to female. Unlike most, her transition played out in the public eye, bringing both visibility and intense scrutiny. Many who had known Carmen as a drag performer struggled to see her beyond that role, clinging to their perceptions of her past. Shifting these views was no easy feat, but Carmen remained unwavering. Despite the challenges, she embraced her truth, forging her own path and emerging as a fierce advocate for the transgender community. Carmen Carrera remained steadfast in her commitment to living authentically, believing that by sharing her journey, she could help normalize the transgender experience. Her transition not only transformed her own life, but also sparked vital conversations about language, respect, and the representation of transgender individuals within the LGBTQ+ community. One of her most defining moments as an advocate came when she publicly criticized the controversial RuPaul's Drag Race segment, She Male or Female. Carmen found the game deeply offensive, especially given the real struggles transgender individuals face. Her stance triggered backlash from some in the Drag Race community who accused her of being ungrateful. But despite the criticism, Carmen stood her ground, turning the moment into a powerful opportunity to highlight the need for respect, inclusivity, and the ever-evolving dialogue surrounding transgender identity within LGBTQ+ spaces. Despite the backlash, Carmen Carrera never wavered in her mission to foster a more respectful and inclusive dialogue around transgender issues. Today, she is not only a successful model, gracing international runways, but also a passionate advocate for transgender rights. Using her platform, she continues to challenge misconceptions, raise awareness, and push for greater acceptance of the transgender community. While some controversy still lingers from her time on RuPaul's Drag Race, Carmen has made it clear that there is no bad blood between her and RuPaul. She has expressed that if they were to cross paths again, she would greet him with a hug, choosing unity, progress, and reconciliation over division. Carmen's journey is more than a story of personal transformation. It's a testament to resilience and the relentless pursuit of positive change. She has become a powerful voice for inclusivity, using her experiences to inspire others and advocate for a world where transgender individuals are seen, heard, and respected. Through her courage and activism, Carmen continues to break barriers, proving that authenticity and advocacy can go hand in hand in shaping a more accepting society. Jazz Jennings has become a powerful voice for the transgender experience, particularly as an advocate for young transgender individuals. She first captured national attention at just 6 years old in a groundbreaking interview with Barbara Walters, where she openly and confidently shared her story. Even as a toddler, Jazz had an unshakable understanding of her identity, expressing without hesitation that she was a girl despite being assigned male at birth. Her actions naturally reflected this truth, borrowing her sister's dresses, twirling in high heels, and embracing her femininity with pure joy. Jazz's extraordinary openness and courage at such a young age helped ignite global conversations about transgender children, fostering greater awareness, understanding, and acceptance. From a young age, Jazz Jennings had an unshakable sense of identity, never hesitating to correct her parents when they mistakenly referred to her as a boy. She often dreamed of a magical fairy who could transform her body to match her true self, a poignant reflection of her deep desire for alignment between her inner identity and outward appearance. Fortunately, Jazz was surrounded by a loving and supportive family who embraced her wholeheartedly, giving her the foundation she needed to thrive. Their unwavering acceptance not only gave her the confidence to live authentically, but also empowered her to become a fearless advocate and role model for the transgender community. As Jazz grew older, she made the courageous decision to share her journey with the world, using her story to foster understanding and acceptance. Her life became the centerpiece of the TLC series I Am Jazz, offering an intimate look at the challenges and victories of growing up as a transgender teen. Through her openness and resilience, Jazz emerged as a trailblazer, breaking down misconceptions about transgender individuals. Beyond television, she built a strong presence as a YouTube creator and passionate activist, earning a spot on Time magazine's list of the 25 most influential teens of 2014, solidifying her role as a powerful voice for equality, representation, and empowerment. What truly sets Jazz Jennings apart is her unwavering self-confidence and resilience. When faced with judgment, she delivered a profoundly empowering response. "The only opinion that truly matters is my own, because I define who I am, not anyone else." This simple yet powerful statement encapsulates her commitment to self-acceptance and authenticity. Jazz continues to shine as a beacon of inspiration, using her platform to advocate for transgender rights and promote greater understanding. Her journey is more than a personal triumph. It has evolved into a movement for acceptance and inclusivity, paving the way for a more compassionate and open-minded world. When discussing transgender celebrities who have left a lasting impact on society, Laverne Cox stands as one of the most influential figures. Her breakthrough came with her unforgettable role as Sophia Bursett in Orange is the New Black, where she authentically portrayed the struggles of a transgender woman navigating life in a women's prison. But before rising to fame and becoming a trailblazing advocate for transgender rights, Laverne endured immense challenges and personal struggles on her journey to self-acceptance. Her story is one of resilience, courage, and self-discovery, an inspiring testament to the power of embracing one's truth and paving the way for future generations. Laverne Cox was born and raised in Mobile, Alabama, a place where traditional gender roles were deeply rooted in the culture. From a young age, she felt different, drawn to things society deemed feminine. This internal conflict became a source of deep pain in an environment that strictly enforced gender norms. Throughout her teenage years, Laverne faced relentless bullying, with classmates ridiculing her for expressing herself in ways that defied expectations. Though these experiences were painful, they ultimately shaped the resilient and determined woman she would become, fueling her drive to embrace her true self and live unapologetically. One of Laverne's earliest passions was dance, a love sparked by the movement, rhythm, and the sense of freedom it gave her. However, pursuing this passion wasn't easy. She had to persuade her mother to let her take dance classes, as her mother was hesitant to allow her son to engage in an activity perceived as feminine. While she eventually permitted Laverne to study tap and jazz, she firmly refused ballet, believing it was too feminine. Despite these limitations, Laverne seized every opportunity to dance, immersing herself in the art form and finding pure joy in every step. As Laverne Cox grew older, the conflict between her true self and society's rigid expectations became even more overwhelming. Raised in a strict religious environment, she was taught that her feelings were sinful, and the weight of guilt and shame pressed heavily on her. The emotional turmoil eventually became unbearable, leading to a moment of deep despair when she swallowed a bottle of pills in an attempt to escape the pain. Miraculously, she survived, and that harrowing experience became a pivotal turning point in her life. Though it took years for Laverne to fully embrace her identity, these hardships did not break her. Instead, they strengthened her resolve, propelling her toward self-acceptance and an unwavering commitment to living authentically. Eventually, Laverne left Alabama to chase her dreams in New York City, a place where she could explore her identity with greater freedom. In this diverse and dynamic environment, she began her transition, a journey marked by emotional and physical challenges, but also an incredible sense of liberation. For the first time, she was able to live as the woman she had always known herself to be, embracing her truth with newfound confidence and an unshakable sense of purpose. Laverne's big break came with her role as Sophia Bursette in Orange is the New Black. More than just a compelling character, Sophia's story felt deeply personal, mirroring many of Laverne's own experiences. Through this groundbreaking portrayal, she brought unprecedented visibility to the transgender experience, resonating with audiences and fostering greater empathy and understanding. Her performance not only solidified her status as a trailblazing actress, but also positioned her as a powerful advocate in the fight for transgender rights. With her growing platform, Laverne Cox has become a fierce advocate for the LGBTQ+ community, using her voice to educate, challenge misconceptions, and push for greater acceptance and equality. Her advocacy has been instrumental in shifting public perceptions, making her a beacon of hope for countless individuals within the community. Her message is simple yet profound. Trans is beautiful. Laverne Cox's courage and resilience serve as a powerful inspiration, not just for individuals, but for an entire generation, striving for acceptance, equality, and the freedom to live authentically. Fallon Fox's journey is a powerful testament to resilience, courage, and the relentless pursuit of breaking barriers in a world often slow to embrace change. As a pioneer in mixed martial arts, MMA, her fight went beyond the cage. It was about owning her identity and forging a path for transgender athletes in sports. Growing up in Toledo, Ohio, Fallon sensed early on that she didn't fit into the conventional mold. She felt more comfortable around girls, but in a society that rigidly enforced gender norms, expressing her truth was no easy feat. Like many transgender individuals, she grappled with understanding her identity in an environment that upheld traditional expectations. Yet, despite the challenges, Fallon persevered, emerging as a trailblazer in MMA and a powerful beacon of strength and representation for the LGBTQ+ community. Fallon Fox's experience with her parents, like that of many transgender individuals of her time, was met with confusion, denial, and a lack of support. When she came out as transgender, acceptance was nowhere in sight. Her mother struggled to comprehend the truth while her father dismissed her identity, insisting she was simply gay and could be fixed. This misunderstanding led to an especially painful chapter, being subjected to conversion therapy, a widely discredited and damaging practice designed to forcibly alter a person's sexual orientation or gender identity. For Fallon, this so-called correction was not only deeply distressing, but also a misguided attempt to confine her to an identity that was never hers, amplifying the challenges she faced on her journey to self-acceptance. Despite the overwhelming pressure from her family and society, Fallon Fox never wavered in her understanding of who she truly was. She knew, without question, that she was not a man, and that transitioning was the only path to living authentically. The decision was far from easy, especially since she had to take this journey without the support of her parents. Yet, with extraordinary courage and resilience, Fallon remained unwavering in her truth. The road ahead was anything but smooth, filled with obstacles and hardships, but her unshakable determination to live as the woman she had always known herself to be gave her the strength to persevere on her journey to self-acceptance. After transitioning, Fallon Fox made history as the first openly transgender athlete in MMA, an unprecedented milestone in a sport defined by its brutal physical demands and deeply rooted notions of masculinity. However, her presence in the cage as a female fighter ignited intense backlash and relentless scrutiny. Detractors claimed that being assigned male at birth gave her an unfair advantage, fueling heated debates within the sport. Yet, despite the controversy, Fallon stood her ground, refusing to back down. Her fight extended beyond the octagon. It became a battle for inclusion, recognition, and the right of transgender athletes to compete at the highest levels of professional sports. For Fallon, the toughest battle wasn't just the external criticism, it was the way her peers' perception of her changed overnight. Before coming out, she trained and competed like any other female athlete, seamlessly fitting into the sport without question. But once her story became public, everything shifted. Teammates and fellow fighters who had once treated her as an equal now saw her differently, no longer viewing her as just another competitor, but as someone they believed didn't belong. The sudden loss of acceptance was a painful reality. Yet Fallon refused to let it define her or derail her pursuit of the sport she loved. Despite the challenges, Fallon Fox never backed down, battling both inside and outside the cage. She was determined to prove that transgender athletes have a rightful place in sports, standing firm against prejudice and misinformation. Her journey transcends competition. It's a powerful testament to resilience, equality, and the ongoing fight for acceptance in a world still grappling with the realities of inclusivity in athletics. Before becoming the trailblazing female model Andrea Pejic, she was known in the fashion world as Andre Pejic. During this phase of her career, Andrea captivated the industry with a rare ability to model both men's and women's clothing, a distinction that set her apart in the modeling world. Her striking features and androgynous beauty made her a runway sensation, effortlessly challenging traditional fashion norms while redefining gender expression in the industry. With her fearless presence and unmistakable style, Andrea quickly rose to fame, cementing her status as one of the most sought-after and talked-about models of her generation. However, behind the glitz and glamour of the fashion world, Andrea faced an internal battle between how the world perceived her and who she truly was. From a young age, she knew she was different, but struggled to fully understand or express those feelings. Born in Bosnia and later raised in Australia, Andrea navigated the challenge of reconciling her identity in a society that upheld rigid gender norms. The weight of cultural and societal expectations made her journey toward self-discovery even more complex, turning it into a deeply personal and transformative experience. From an early age, Andrea was drawn to things society deemed feminine. She found joy in playing with makeup and wearing her mother's clothes, but those moments of happiness were often clouded by an underlying sense of shame. She quickly became aware of the rigid expectations placed on boys and realized she didn't fit within those confines. No matter how hard she tried to navigate the world around her, the disconnect between who she was and who she was expected to be became impossible to ignore. As Andrea entered her teenage years, her striking appearance made her both a standout and a target. She faced bullying and isolation from those who struggled to understand her unique identity. Yet, despite these challenges, she found solace in the fashion industry, a world where individuality wasn't just accepted, but celebrated. In this space, what once set her apart became her greatest strength, offering her the sense of belonging she had long been searching for. Andrea's gender-fluid beauty captivated top designers, propelling her career to extraordinary heights as she graced the runways of the world's most prestigious fashion shows. Yet despite her meteoric success, an undeniable void remained. Deep down, she knew that living as a man wasn't her truth. The thought of transitioning had been in her heart for years, but the path forward felt daunting. It wasn't just about aligning her body with her true self. It meant risking the career she had worked tirelessly to build and potentially losing the relationships she had fostered within the fashion industry. The stakes were high, but her need to live authentically was even higher. But over time, the need to live authentically became impossible to ignore. Andrea realized she could no longer exist in a life that didn't reflect her true self. In 2014, she made the most defining decision of her life: to transition. This wasn't an impulsive choice, but the result of years of inner conflict and an unshakable determination to embrace her identity. It was a leap into the unknown, filled with uncertainty and risk, but one she knew was essential to finally becoming the person she was always meant to be. Andrea, who had risen to fame as Andrei Pasic, embarked on her gender reassignment journey, a process that was both physically and emotionally demanding. In an interview with Vogue, she revealed that transitioning was far more complex than simply consulting a doctor and undergoing surgery. It required extensive psychological evaluations, rigorous medical assessments, and immense mental and physical preparation. By sharing her story with raw honesty, Andrea provided a rare and powerful insight into the realities of transitioning, highlighting the resilience and determination it took to align her body with her true identity. Andrea's career didn't just withstand her transition, it thrived. She broke new ground by becoming the first transgender model to grace the cover of GQ Portugal, marking a historic moment in fashion. Reflecting on her extraordinary journey, Andrea acknowledges the struggles she endured and the resilience it took to push forward. If she could speak to her younger self, she would offer reassurance, reminding her that the pain and uncertainty would one day lead to strength and self-acceptance. Andrea Pejic's story is more than a narrative of gender transition. It's a powerful testament to authenticity, courage, and the unwavering strength it takes to embrace one's true self in a world that often resists change. When Sonny and Cher welcomed their child, Chastity, in 1969, they could never have predicted the deeply personal journey that lay ahead. As the child of two legendary entertainers, Chastity grew up in the public eye, yet behind the spotlight, an internal battle was unfolding. From an early age, there was a profound sense of disconnect between the gender identity assigned at birth and the person within. While the world saw Chastity as a girl, the reality was far more complex. A quiet struggle against societal expectations and a lifelong search for an authentic self. These internal struggles weighed heavily on Chastity, bringing immense emotional pain as she grappled with societal expectations that left little room for her true identity. She attempted to conform to the roles and stereotypes assigned to her, but each effort only deepened her sense of inauthenticity. The disconnect from her own body grew more pronounced, making her feel like a stranger in her own life. As she matured, Chastity came to the life-altering realization that she was never meant to live as a woman. However, embracing that truth was an uphill battle. It wasn't just about understanding herself, it was about finding the courage to share that truth with the world. The fear of rejection, especially from her family, cast a long shadow, making an already difficult journey even more daunting. For years, Chastity silently endured the disconnect between the life the world saw and the person he truly was, maintaining a public image that conformed to expectations. It wasn't until the late 2000s that he took the courageous step to embrace his true identity. Stepping into his authentic self, he adopted the name Chaz Bono, finally claiming the identity he had long suppressed. This decision wasn't made lightly. It was the culmination of a deeply personal journey filled with fear, uncertainty, and emotional struggle. Even now, looking back at photos of himself as Chastity is a bittersweet experience for Chaz, a poignant reminder of the years spent in a body and identity that never truly reflected who he was. At 40, Chaz Bono embarked on a life-changing journey to fully embrace his true identity, beginning with transformative physical changes. He underwent top surgery, a liberating experience that finally allowed him to feel at home in his own body. Alongside this, he started hormone therapy, with testosterone injections fostering the development of masculine traits like a deeper voice and facial hair. But these changes weren't just physical. They represented a profound internal shift. For Chaz, this journey was more than a transition. It was a path to living openly, authentically, and free from the identity that had once felt like a constraint. Chaz Bono didn't just transform his own life. He became a powerful advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, using his platform to raise awareness and support others on similar journeys. Inspired by his iconic parents, Chaz also made his mark in the entertainment industry, breaking barriers as a transgender man. He made history as the first transgender man to play a male lead in a feature film, a groundbreaking moment for representation. Beyond that, He's showcased his talent in hit shows like The Secret Life of the American Teenager, The Bold and the Beautiful, and American Horror Story, cementing his legacy as a trailblazer both on and off the screen. Chaz Bono's journey was deeply personal, but it also required a period of adjustment for his mother, Cher. She has openly admitted that accepting Chaz's transition wasn't easy, as shifting from seeing Chastity as her daughter to recognizing Chaz as her son came with emotional challenges and a learning curve. Even now, Cher occasionally slips with pronouns, but her love and pride for Chaz have never wavered. She has repeatedly expressed admiration for his courage, recognizing the immense strength it took for him to embrace his true self, an act that has inspired countless others along the way. Thank you for watching. The stories of transgender individuals go beyond physical transformation. They're about resilience, self-discovery, and the courage to live authentically. We hope these journeys inspire you to embrace your true self and support others in doing the same. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss out on our upcoming content. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below and be part of the conversation. Let's keep uplifting one another and spreading the message of love and inclusion. See you in the next video.